Hello and welcome to another episode of Tracy Takes On, the show that talks about all things politics. I'm joined today by Charles, who will be a panelist. Say hello, Charles.
Hello.
Well, guys, this will probably be another short show because there's really only two subjects I want to talk about, maybe three. I first want to talk about finally the Supreme Court is back in session and they are scheduled to hear, I believe it's either the Mississippi abortion case or the Texas abortion case. And that starts today.
Yeah, they're hearing the Texas. That's the way I hear it.
And the decision.
They're telling when they're going to come back with their decision. That could be months from now. So it wouldn't surprise me, if they side with Texas. But I mean, the law is the law. And I don't know how they're skirting behind Roe versus Wade. That law was passed, it's law. So the Supreme Court, their job is not to make laws, to interpret law. But just like everything else, it seems like everything is being made political. So.
Yep, unfortunately, I'm not going to give my opinion about the Texas case because this will turn into a 3-hour show. It literally makes me sick that we could be. I don't think they'll just take out Roe v. Wade, but they're going to make it harder and harder for women to get abortions, therefore driving the rate of women who died trying to get abortions elsewhere or doing their own. It's just going to increase. So this is one of the few times I'm just going to not say anything because it just literally makes no sense. The second thing I did want to talk about, and I said that I was going to have just two things, but I just thought of the third. Wanted to talk about was the reconciled Reconstruction bill was supposed to be voted on last week before Joe Biden went over to I want to say Geneva so bad, and I know that's not the right country. Basically, he went overseas for some type of summit with some other country. I forget what the summit is called, but it didn't pass last week.
Summary, I believe the G8 meeting with all the leaders of the.
I don't know if it's the G8 because I know this meeting is specifically about climate control. I don't think.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're right.
Yeah, because G8 already happened. Yeah. And I just can't think of the name of the meeting, but he wanted it passed last week. And I don't know what you think of Nancy Pelosi, but word on the street is that she got kicked out of a meeting with progressives. Now, of course, both sides are denying it because they're not going to publicly say, oh, yeah, we kicked her out and we got into a fight, et cetera, et cetera. They're not going to do that. But if you saw her walking out, I don't know why, but that just gave me great joy. I was just so happy that the progressives are finally having a spine and saying no to this corporate handout. I don't even want to call it a bill because it's not. It doesn't have anything in it. Well, it does have the provision for pre-K. So that's still in there. But everything else is gone.
So maybe that is a good thing that it didn't get passed. I don't even, like I say, I don't even know what's in the bill.
Yeah, I can tell you what's not in it.
You turn around, the amount of the bill changes. It was like started out at 3.5 trillion. Now it's down to like, last thing I believe I saw was 1.25 trillion. So
Actually, it started at 10 trillion, then
Okay.
got reduced to 7.5, then got reduced to 3.5. Now it's down to 1.2.
So I'm sure at 10, probably at 10 trillion, everybody got what they wanted. But
Or you could be like Joe Manchin, who apparently has said, no, I'm more comfortable with a zero amount.
well, I mean, Joe Manchin has nothing to do with Pelosi. You know, this is the House. She must don't have the votes in
No,
the
I don't
House.
think she does. I don't think she does because the progressives are holding strong and just voting down the whole thing.
Right. And then if she if if it does get passed, you know, I don't think it'll get through the Senate. So, you know, to me, the whole thing is just a waste of time. Uh, you know, they're up there getting paid and just wasting the taxpayers' time. You know, but you know that's cause we elected them.
Yeah, we sure did. And I'm like, oh boy, I got two nitwit senators. I'm just counting down. I'm like, somebody got to primary these two. Somebody's got to primary these two because they're terrible. We have two terrible senators. Some states at least they have one, but some of us red states, oh, we got two. Us, Kentucky, uh, Texas, they're all lawful. I'm like, go away. I did want to talk about something that
Hold on 1 second. As corrupt as they are, they still all stick together.
they
That's
sure do. Now I'll give them that. They do know how to stick together.
yeah. The Democrats, they just I don't know what their problem is. I don't think, you know, I mean, they to me, they all might as well be Republicans, you know, from moderate to right wing, because that's where uh, the Democrats want to keep it as moderate. And the progressive don't want it to be moderate. They want some ideas from the left put in there. But they, you know, they call this socialism, but you know, it's helping people who need help.
Yep. I do know one thing that's gone from the new infrastructure bill that really has me upset, and that's the child tax credit. Now, I have zero children, but I know so many people that have children that have really, really benefited from that $250 to $300 a month. And now instead of being permanent, like it should have been, now this is just going to be for another year. So in another year, we're going to be like, no, no more checks for you.
Well, hopefully, you know, people uh, are able to not need this. I'm telling you know, the government has shown how they don't want to do anything for anybody except the rich. It, you know, all through this pandemic, they've shown you that, and people need to wake up and quit voting these people in who don't share your own interests. They share the interests of others, you know. And but we won't stick together. We just keep still because they have a D behind their name or because they have an R behind their name. We keep voting them in and nothing changes, you know. Progressives are not in charge yet. You know, it seemed like they're more and more, and maybe, you know, at some point that they will be able to effect change. But right now, you know, it's just not enough. You know, we're getting there, but right now it's just not enough. And these old ones who've been sitting there all these years not doing anything, you know, it's just time for them to go. to me, it should be a time limit on being a senator or being a representative, just like it is on the president, because
Yeah.
you get complacent in that job and you see you get rich in that job and you're not afraid of losing that job. So, you don't have any motivation to do anything for the voters.
Well, that's because they keep getting sent back. I mean, there are literally 5 Congress people that I can name that have been there since I was born. And I'm not young. Well, I'm not old, but I'm not young. They've been there a lot of years, but they keep getting elected because the people in their districts are like, well, who's the alternative? You look at I'm gonna name her again, Nancy Pelosi. She had someone to run against her, but he didn't do well. So
A
how
Democrat?
how badly, I'm agreeing with everything you're saying, you need to stop voting for people that don't have our interests in mind. But what's the alternative? If they have all the money and all the resources, it's very difficult for someone to come up and to take them out because they don't have the same resources as the other ones.
Well, yeah, the party is gonna most likely support the moderates, support the incumbent. And so when, somebody's coming up as a primary, he just has to connect with the voters. To me, it's not about the money. I could care less. I'm not sending any money to anybody. All I'm gonna do is give you my vote. And I know what you're talking about. I pay attention to what you're talking about. I don't know how much people are engaged in politics that they make informative decisions when they go to the poll. They don't, the Pelosi, that's a well-known name. So yeah, I'm gonna vote for her again. Not knowing anything about this other person that he might share your interests. Him or her might share your interests, but you're not engaged, so you don't know that.
Or you could have what's happening in the reverse. You could have what's happening in the race for mayor for Buffalo. You had a socialist, well, let me rephrase it, get it right. She's a Democratic socialist. She beats him in the primary, fair and square, and he decides, no, I'm not done. Everyone endorsed him. Everybody said he's going to win, but somehow she beats him in the primary. And then he turns around and says, nope, I'm going to do a write-in campaign. Now she's got to beat the same person that she already beat. I'm like, wait a
I
minute.
don't think, does he run as a write-in or as an independent? I thought he was running as an independent.
No, well, he's running as a write-in candidate because he lost, thank goodness. He lost the suit to get on the ballot.
He's gonna win. I really don't think
Unfortunately, I think he has a chance, and
not a write-in. People ain't gonna take time to write in a name. People probably don't even know a name. Your name's not on the ballot. So if somebody's going to the polls to run, I mean, unless you know this person's name, how you gonna write in a name?
There's 2 problems with what you're saying. I want to agree with you so bad. Number one, he has a very easy name to spell. You would have to be a complete.
No, that's not my question. My question is, how do they know this person is running if his name is not?
Okay, I'm going to answer that question too. So I'm saying, one, he's got a couple things working for him that India does not. One, he's got $3 million in his campaign chest, and she has basically she has way less than $1 million. So he's got that. He's got the Democratic machine behind him doing door-to-door type of knockings to get his name out there. He's got commercial. He's got all of those things.
Wait a minute. Okay, so are we talking about another, we're not talking about a primary. We're talking about a general election?
Actual race, which takes place tomorrow. The actual race for mayor takes place tomorrow.
Okay, so who's the Republican running?
I That's the issue. The Republicans have supported Brent. They've all came out and said vote for Brent.
Like I say, I really don't believe, so who's the party supporting?
Yeah, that's the other thing. The party, okay, so here's where it comes in. Chuck Schumer finally supported India Walton.
Yeah,
Finally.
because she's a Democrat. She's running as the Democrat. I
Right.
can't, I wouldn't understand why you would support a write-in or support the loser.
Well,
So-
see, that's what you would think. However, the New York Democratic Party refuses to endorse her. They will not endorse her. So basically, they're taking a we're not endorsing, but they actually are really endorsing Brown. It's been really interesting to see that. I'm hoping that you're right that he loses and
Let's see.
big, but oh,
But
my-
again, when I talk about the people who are not engaged, but still go to the polls and vote, how do they know to write this person's name in? Where are they gonna get that information? To write, you can write in a name, but you have to know that name. And if you aren't engaged, you probably don't even know this person is running.
I hope you're right because I can't. That's the type of thing I think the senator from Alaska did the same thing when she lost her primary, except for she's a Republican. And then she decided to run it. Actually, she won her write-in candidacy. She actually won hers, but they have some strange rules in Alaska. I'm like, okay, yeah, she won. I'm hoping you're right because one, I didn't appreciate his attacks on her. I can't stand when people start attacking Black females. That just irritates me to the uttermost. So maybe I've taken his running as something I shouldn't, but I'm just like, this guy rubs me the wrong way.
Well, if anything, I believe that it's gonna hurt both of them. It's gonna be to the advantage of the Republican because
But
now
they're not running anybody.
you're splitting the votes for the Democrats and the Republican is getting straight up all his votes,
But there's no Republican running for that office.
Oh, I thought, well, I thought you
It's
said
just her and him. The Republicans have endorsed him. They said vote for him, not her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, we'll see then.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I've never seen when I say he went Donald Trump to the extreme. I'm like, you lost. Admit you lost. Admit that you lost and sit down somewhere. Oh my gosh. I hope you're right. I hope you're right because I want to see that guy lose so bad. But my gut says he's probably gonna win and then I'm gonna have to vomit somewhere. But like, ugh.
Okay, like I say, I've never went to a poll and wrote somebody's name.
Oh,
out
I
there.
did. I do it all the time.
I've never done that. I just waste my time voting because I just don't believe this person is gonna get enough votes to win. I mean, the odds are against you, but you say he's endorsed by the Republican Party.
Mhm.
The Democrat Party doesn't want to endorse their candidate. Man.
No, they
Like,
don't even have a candidate. That's how low down and dirty that race has got. They aren't even running a candidate. They're just saying, okay, we don't want her. Now, keep in mind, this man has been mayor for years and years and years and years and hasn't done basically anything.
yeah, I get you. I get what you're
I'm like,
saying. I didn't like how he handled when that wasn't that elderly guy that the police beat, was that Rochester or was that New Buffalo? What's his name that's running?
Byron Brown. The people
Yeah,
say write down
he's
Byron
black, he's
Brown.
black
Nobody's
too,
saying
isn't
that.
he? He's black, isn't he?
Yeah, they're both African American.
Yeah. He handled something that had to do with police brutality, which he kind of sided with the city. And in the video, it just looked like the police were wrong. So I really don't think much of him, but hey, I don't live in Buffalo, so
Yeah, I don't either.
good luck
Thank
to the
goodness.
people in Buffalo.
Yeah, it's gotta be like, wait a minute. I think he's even formed his own party. Let's see. I'm trying to bring this up because I think it's important to talk about. It's like these sore look, like Trump is a sore loser. He keeps saying he won the election. He keeps saying he won the election. This guy is doing exactly, I mean, it's like he literally took Trump's complaining and said, okay, I'm gonna do everything that I can.
Uh-huh.
Yep, it does. I was correct. The Republican Party has supported him.
The Republican Party has supported him.
And they're the independent. He turned in, of course, he has to have so many signatures to get onto the ballot. He has to have 1/3.
So is he on the ballot?
I believe he's gonna be on the ballot according to this.
Wait a minute, he had to get 1/3 of the vote.
It doesn't say when. It says nearly 1/3 of the signature pages Brown turned in were carried by men. Okay, so apparently in Buffalo, you had to get a certain amount of signatures to be considered a write-in candidate. I don't know how this works. 1/3 of those, so 33% of what he got was Republican support.
So what did he need to get to be on the
Well,
ballot?
yeah, the article doesn't say the number. It does not say the number that he needed. It just says that he got
Because I've seen where somebody will run for office in the primary and lose, and they'll turn around and run as an independent against that person in the general election.
yeah, and then there's another article. So I guess India Walton then turned around and filed a lawsuit, and he lost 2 of the court cases. So that's how he didn't get on the ballot. So he turned in the signatures. Then Walton's campaign sued to make his name not appear on the ballot. And as of right now, or a month ago, his name is not on the ballot. Now, whether it's on the ballot tomorrow, that portion I don't know because I don't live in Buffalo. But I'm hoping it's not, because he literally makes me sick. He's the type of Democrat that I'm like, go away. You lose, you're supposed to congratulate the other person, say, hey, I lost, she won, let's move. But nope. He says, I'm going to keep my office that I haven't done anything in for 17 years, and I'm just going to keep going.
Maybe he done something corrupt and he's trying to stay in office so he can keep it covered up. I don't know.
I think that's what she was, she was questioning his giving out contracts and tearing down homes of poor people. Because I watched her campaign all weekend. I was like, I wish I could have gone to Buffalo, but I couldn't. But I watched her campaign and I'm like, yeah, that sounds like what's happening in our city, where the mayor gives these huge corporations the right to build huge buildings where no one can afford to rent them except for the higher income people, thereby bringing in gentrification. But I won't go into that. That's a whole nother subject. But I did want to talk about one last thing, and I'm not sure how to phrase this. So I'm trying to think of a way I could say it. Okay, I'll just point out the question like this. What do you make of Herschel Walker running for senator against Reverend Warnock, or Senator Warnock?
Well, I mean, Herschel is He's a Republican, so what can I say? You know, that it doesn't make any sense that he's a Republican, but then it does make a sense that just knowing his character, that I guess I would expect him to be a Republican. Just because he's black, you know, don't mean that he endorses social issues and stuff.
And I wonder, you know, and every state has different rules because he didn't even used to live in Georgia. I was like, didn't he live in Texas? You would just go state to state and just run for offices. Don't you have to live there a certain amount of time to run?
Well, obviously he must meet that
Yeah,
qualification.
he must. I'm like, what is it, 3 weeks? Because he literally
He had a house. He had a home there. You know,
how did he get a house? He's not even making money. Oh, shut up, Tracy. That was wrong.
how's he get a house? What?
I said he's not making any money because he didn't play in the NFL. He played in the USFL.
No, he didn't. He played in the NFL. He
What
played.
team he play for?
He played for Dallas Cowboys, and
Oh,
then
he
he got
sure did.
traded. Then he got
Yeah.
traded to
The Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. He did. I forgot. See, I was like, wait a minute. He did play in the NFL, but it wasn't long though. Because I thought most of his career was,
You know, they get a pension for playing, and I'm sure, you know, he had a big lucrative contract, so I guess he saved his money. He did it right. Obviously, that's all that they figured that they could pit against Herschel Walker. That the party, I'm sure the party must be supporting him.
yeah, you must be right because it says here his net worth is $12 million. Where did he get $12 million? He didn't. Okay, I'm just gonna be quiet because apparently he's worth $12 million.
Okay.
Oh, and he owns it. Okay, so he owns several businesses. That's how he got his money. Okay, that's making more sense. I'm like, oh, okay, now I'm understanding.
I mean, I would have thought he had more than $12 million. All the contracts he had with playing in the NFL. So, but you know, the party's giving him money too. So.
Oh yeah, the party. Plus, he's gonna do some fundraising. And yeah, so, and of course, yeah, I'm hoping the people of Georgia have sense enough to send that food back. Send that man back to Texas. He's just, when I say Trump bootlicker, his picture is the first one that comes to my mind. I mean, to him, Trump can do no wrong. The election was stolen, but you don't have any evidence. Trump's not a racist, but he banned black people from buying his apartments. Stop.
It's stupid to me for a black person to be a Republican, knowing, you know, all the racism that's going on in the party and stuff, and you're still up for it. You still feel that you're equal in this, that these white people don't look at you like you some kind of idiot, because reverse the situation that I don't think that they would be for this party. You know, if
I think they would. And I'll tell you why I think they would be Republicans no matter what. Unfortunately, I don't know how I can say this except for to say it. Unfortunately, some people get pleasure out of hurting their own. People like Terrence Williams and Candace Owens and Diamond and Silk and all these other people, they feel so disenfranchised from their own communities that they're going to go to anyone who accepts their crazy, stupid, dumb type of comments. So unfortunately, I do think they would still be Republicans. If you laid out the racism right there in front of them, they would say, oh, it's all lies. You made it up. Because they bought into that system. I truly think that you could not present Herschel Walker with the facts and say, look, this is how we know Trump is a racist. And he would still say, no, you're lying. You made those facts up. You got that from, where's your source?
I like I say, I don't think reverse decision.
It logically makes no sense. I'm like, why would I do it?
Okay, knowing, say Black people were the slave owners, and knowing white people's history of violence, I don't see them supporting a system that
oh no, I got one.
We forgive. They don't forgive. You know, we go pray. They go home and get their guns.
No, this is what the Black conservatives will tell you. Well, they made what was one that someone tried to tell me, that they made concessions for that, and slavery wasn't really as bad as the history books taught. And we didn't really suffer that much. I mean, I've literally had conversations with people like this, and I'm like, you know what? I'm done. There's no talking to you. I'm not gonna try because you're making my head hurt. There's just people literally out there, all 30% of them, it's like you can't have any type of conversation with them because they drink the Kool-Aid. The Kool-Aid is in them and they drink it and they're done and they're gone. I mean, yeah, you could lay out every single fact and they will still tell you it's made up, it's fake news. And you're like, no, these are things that he said out of his mouth. And they're still like, no, birds are dealt together. They will come up with something. I don't care what it is.
Okay, well, like I say, the party, I guess he's the best candidate.
I mean, I agree with what you're saying. I don't understand.
Primary. Did the Republicans have a primary?
No, he's one of the ones that he's getting the most support, but there are other Republicans running. There are definitely other Republicans running.
Running who? Tomorrow?
I'm sorry?
There are other Republicans running tomorrow?
No, there's other Republicans running in the primary for the Georgia Senate seat that are running against Herschel Walker. I just can't think of their names right now.
Well, I mean, that's probably good too, because then they split up the vote.
Oh, yeah, and he's getting the most support.
Well, I understand that, but you know, if other people are running, there's chances somebody's gonna vote for him. Not enough to win, but just enough to take away votes from Herschel Walker. You know, if you got other Republicans running and they vote for those Republicans, then that takes votes away from Herschel Walker. I don't think there are any Democrats running other than Warnock. So
no, there certainly are not. There are not.
So that could be to his advantage.
Yeah, there's not any Democrats running against Warnock or oh shoot, what's that other one's name? Ossoff. I always forget his name. But like I said, I don't understand why Black people support the Republican Party. Sometimes I don't understand why Black people support the Democratic Party. If I'm being 1000% honest, I'm like, okay, come again?
Because I guess it's the lesser of two evils, you know? I mean, some people don't care about the left. You know, nobody cares about the poor. Nobody speaks for the poor. Nobody listens about the poor. You know, you want to keep it moderate. You want to keep it right there in the center where there's no violence and everybody's happy and they're just going on with life, but they don't want it to go far right. They don't want it to go far left. They just want it to stay in the center, and that's your moderates, and that's who've been running the party. We have to elect more progressive people so the left becomes the center. Until the left becomes the center, where poor and marginalized people aren't going to be recognized or assisted in any kind.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Well, it's the end of the show, and audience, like I said, this is one of those weeks where everything keeps repeating. So we get into our little off subjects, but we're gonna keep this segment coming up, or this segment going is Charles, who is your idiot of the week?
I guess my idiot of the week is a Trump lawyer named Eastman, who blamed Pence for the January 6th insurrection.
Mm-hmm.
Pence wouldn't do what Trump wanted him to do. And I mean, I guess he sent an email, something blaming Pence, so it might come back to bite him. But that's my idiot of the week.
My idiot of the week is from a couple weeks backwards. He hasn't made the news much, and I don't know whether holding him in contempt of court is going to make him testify. But Steve Bannon is my idiot of the week. He is trying to use, or was trying to use, executive privilege not to have to testify. There's only two problems with that. One, Donald Trump is not president anymore. And second, he never worked in the White House at the time of the January 6th insurrection.
Well, didn't President or ex-president, didn't Trump?
Pardon him? Yes. Trump pardon.
Yeah, so way I understand that is if you're pardoned, that you have to, it's like you can't take the Fifth Amendment now. If you have to answer for.
I'm just saying him trying to use the executive privilege when he wasn't working for the White House. I'm like, but you wasn't working for him.
It still should matter, it's rules that he has to follow that because.
I gotta testify. He's going to jail.
No, you accepted this pardon, so there are rules that go along with accepting the pardon, and if I told you before, if the Congress doesn't back up their threats,
well, they did
back up their subpoenas, then they show how weak they are, and they wasted their time even sending out a subpoena.
They actually did.
Okay.
They actually did back this one up. They took it to the full House, voted him in contempt. The next thing now is the people in blue show up to his house.
They need to send the police to go pick him
That's
up.
the next step.
And a beat down if he don't want to come, if he don't want to cooperate.
Well, no, he's not black, so he's not gonna get beat.
No, I've seen some white people get beaten by the police. They're not rich ones, but.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, wait a minute, they can't be rich because rich white people don't get beat by the police, period.
All right. Then, like I say, if they don't back up their threat, then they wasted their time. I don't care. Yeah, you voted him in contempt. So now what? What you gonna do?
Yeah, I think the next step now, because he gets to, I don't know how this works because obviously I didn't go to law school, but like I said, he's my idiot of the week for just trying to use executive privilege and he didn't work at the White House. I can see I could see like Pence saying executive privilege. I could see the former attorney general. Okay, that those would make sense because they actually worked in the. I'm like, you were conning people out of money to build the wall.
But at that time, didn't he work at the White House?
No, he did not. He worked at the White House for 1 year.
Okay, so
And
when
Trump
did
fired him.
the money thing happen?
What?
I didn't know. I don't even know why they even subpoenaed. I thought they subpoenaed him about something that happened on January.
They did. They subpoenaed him for his role in January 6th, but he was not employed at the White House officially.
Well, yeah, I agree with that he shouldn't have.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's an idiot because he's trying to use something that doesn't
gave him a letter, unless Trump gave him a letter giving him immunity.
No, Trump pardoned Bannon.
Something happened, you know.
Pardoned Bannon because Bannon got convicted of swindling all those people, all those Republican right-wing crazy people that gave him money for that wall that never got built.
He didn't get convicted.
He got convicted, I thought.
He was arrested and charged, but are you sure he was convicted? Trump pardoned him.
Because usually you have to be convicted to get pardoned.
No, you don't.
Let's see. Now we got this show going on. Okay. Okay, let's see. Convicted. Wait a minute, let me take my glasses off. Oh, apparently he wasn't arrested. He wasn't convicted. Okay.
He was just charged with the crime. And
Yeah,
Trump
he was charged. Oh,
before.
I was wrong.
Yeah. So I don't know. You know, Trump just gave him a get out of jail free letter. You know. I mean, I guess it's going to go to the Supreme Court, but the thing is, he should still be compelled to testify, regardless if he has executive privilege or not, just because of the pardon.
Yep. So. Yep.
And if he lies, in any kind of way, I think the pardon is revoked.
He's not gonna open his mouth and tell that man's gonna do jail time for him. He's gonna do jail time for Trump. I promise he will. Well, he's not gonna say he's gonna take the Fifth Amendment and say Fifth Amendment. Like that's gonna
get there. Let's see. The first step is to go get him, because
I agree
you should have did that already. That should have been done already.
He's still my idiot of the week.
Okay, I don't disagree with you on that one.
He's still my idiot of the week. Well, everyone, thank you for joining us for another episode of Tracy Takes On. We'll see you next week. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and support us on Patreon. Thank you all and have a fantastic evening and a fantastic week. Bye-bye.
All right. See you next week.
Hi, everybody. This is Tracy again, and I have another huge announcement. On January the 8th, 2022, Tracy Media is engaging in a 3-hour telethon. That's right. You're going to get to see all of my talents on display. The reason I'm making this video is I want you, one, to buy a ticket. They're only $9.75, and all the funds will go to support me buying some much needed new equipment. I definitely need some new lighting. This old lighting is just going in and out, and it's making things look bad. I definitely want to get the website secured where you can just go to tracymediallc.com and not have to go through steps and hoops and loops to get to the actual website. That's going to cost money, and that's going to cost money that I don't have. So I've decided to do a telethon slash fundraiser slash please help me. But again, I'm making this video because I want you to email me at tracymediallc@gmail.com with suggestions on what you want me to do. And that's TRACYMediallc@gmail.com. I'll put a poll up in my group, but please support this effort by, like I said, buying a ticket, telling all your friends to buy tickets. I really need the support. I usually don't like to beg, but in this case, I can't get those things that Tracy Media needs alone and out of pocket. I wish I could because I definitely would. But please remember to email me those ideas of things that you want me to do. Of course, keep it PG-13, nothing graphic, nothing explicit. I'm not going to do those. I won't entertain those type of ideas. But I definitely want your input. And like I said, all the links are in the description, including how to buy a ticket. And I thank you so much for your support and have a fantastic evening.